For today's video, we are going to be playing a game of Regiment of Renown between the High Elves and the Orcs that we are calling Fight at the Fountain. Hello gamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming in lovely Furgalund, Sweden. The elven village of Felinar is under attack by the orcs and goblins, and now the elves have been sent out in order to stop the onslaught. Two warbands running out to meet one another, one from the east and one from the west, and they will most likely be meeting up in the very center of the village in the beautiful fountains. Will the elves be able to stop the onslaught, or are the orcs simply too powerful for them? Well, that is what we will find out today. Let's go ahead now and introduce our two warbands. For our first warband, we have the High Elves. This is the defending warband of the village. They are led in the center here by the Phoenix Guard, and he has Club of a Nail in, which gives him random attacks D6. To the right, we have an archer with handcrafted ammo, which allows them to shoot without penalty at long range. To the left, we have the regimental standard, which is also a spearman. These are our three dogs of war. And joining them now, to the far left, we have four spearmen, and to the right, an Illyrian Reaver, also with a bow and arrow. For our second warband, we have the Orcs, and they are led in the middle here by the Orc Boy on Boar, and he has the spiky shoulder plates as his kit, which gives him impact hits 1. To the right of him, we have our other dog of war with the Blade of Prescient Perfection, which gives the Always Strikes First special rule, and to the left we have the Regimental Standard. Now to the right of all of them, we have an additional 5 Orc Boys. To the left of the standard, we have an additional Orc Boy on Boar, and all the way to the left, we have 2 Orc Error Boys. Rolling for deployment now, we have the Orcs using the green dice and the High Elves using the yellow. 5 to 2, it will be the Orcs to begin deployment. And here's the deployment for the Orcs and Goblins. They took the eastern side here of the village. We've got most of them bunched up right in the center here. On top, we have our leader over there who is getting ready for a flank charge. And down here at the very bottom, we have got our other Orc boy also getting ready for a flank charge. So there you go, eastern side of the village, 12 inches from the board edge. And on the western side, we have got the High Elves now all set up. They are more bunched up than the Orcs, so they're going to be hopefully moving up more as a block there in order to make some quick movements. All right, let's go ahead and roll off to see who gets to begin the first turn. Orcs finish deploying first, so they get +1 to their roll. 6 to a 3, so the High Elves will begin. And before we get into movement here, we have the Vanguard for our Illyrian Reaver. Let's move that 12 inches. No charges to declare, so let's go ahead with our remaining moves and just march them all up 10 inches. There's the final position as that group begins to work its way up. Let's go ahead now and go over to the Orcs. Orc turn now. We are playing with a special rule that we do not need to roll for animosity because this group is just far too small, so we don't have to do individual animosity rolls for each of them. So we can jump ahead right now to our final movement because we have no charges to declare. Doesn't look like we have any shooting possibilities either, so we'll just go ahead and march everybody up. And then there's our final positions. They're all bunched up in the middle. Interestingly, we sent this Orc boy over here on the boar and the Error boy around here, potentially to get off a shot over here on this Illyrian Reaver that's crouching up over here, encroaching on their space. And over here we sent our other archer. And finally, way over here on the corner, we have our other Orc boy on boar. So that'll be the end of the movement phase. We have no shooting, so we're going to go back over now to the High Elves, round 2. No charges to declare for the High Elves, but let's go ahead and do some remaining moves. First off, let's take our Illyrian Reaver and run him up here and try to get in a position where he can take a shot off. And there's his final position. You can see he's going to have a line of sight from here over on to one of the dogs of war. Rest of the elves moving up. Let's start with the archer. Just move him 5 inches so he can shoot this turn. And everyone else can start marching up. We're going to funnel them all into that same bridge going across the fountain. On second thought, we're going to move those guys right there, and then we're going to send the other 2 spearmen over to the other bridge. Shooting phase. First shot we're going to take from this archer all the way over here onto this orc error boy. We moved, but we ignore penalties for long range. Needing a 4 to hit. And it's a 3, so that is a miss. Second, let's go ahead and take a shot from here over onto this guy right here. And we have move and fire, so no penalty there. Short range, we are needing a 3. And it's a 5, it's a hit. And a 4 to wound. No wound. Orc turn, charges to declare. We're going to start over here with this boar charging in. And the Illyrian Reaver is going to hold. In addition, we're going to send one more of the Orc boys in to charge on the Illyrian Reaver. And the Reaver will hold there as well. Rolling for the first guy here, the boar. And, ooh, we're going to have to measure that one out. So just getting it, he can slide into the flank. And the other boy. No problem. Remaining moves, let's go ahead and move our archers up, but not march them. And the rest of the orcs, let's go ahead and just spread them out there, getting in the middle somewhere of those 2 bridges. And last of all, we'll send this boar cruising up the side. Shooting phase. Let's take a shot from this guy over here onto the banner. Needing a 5 to hit. And it's a 6. And a 3 to wound. No, it's a 1. Second shot from this arrow boy. We're going to go over here and try to get a shot off on that lead spearman right there. Needing a 6. Here we go. No. End of the shooting phase, into the combat phase. We have these 2 orcs that have charged into this Illyrian Reaver. Let's go ahead and roll off this combat. First off, we have impact hit because of the kit from that boar rider. So wounding on a 4. And it's a wound. And that will actually be enough to take that Illyrian Reaver out of play. So indeed, a very powerful charge, and that extra bit of kit really helped out there with the impact hits. We didn't even get to go into combat. He just ran him over like that. So that brings us to the end of round 2, and here's how things stand. We have a group of High Elves making their way across this bridge right here. We have another group of archers over here. The first blood has been spilled over here on this side. We've got all this whole group of orcs that are building up over here trying to come in, and we've got this orc right over here coming around on the flank. So pretty powerful charge by the orcs. The High Elves have been forced into small areas. We'll see what the orcs do in their next turn, but right now let's go ahead and move on to the High Elves. Turn 3. Charges to declare. We're going to throw a charge in right here. And the boar is going to hold there. And we're going to have a second charge also from this guy behind. And the boar will also hold there as well. Moreover, I think we're going to have this spearman try out a charge onto that boar there as well. And we will send the second spearman as well into the boar. And he will hold for both of those. Rolling off the charges, let's start here on the top. First guy makes it in. And the second guy also making it in. And at the bottom now, first guy making it with a 7. Second guy, no problem. So there you have a shot of that first successful charge there, and a shot of the second successful charge. Let's go ahead and do our remaining moves. So we're going to have our leader take the charge here and move up about here. We'll have our standard bearer go behind, and then we'll be able to get our archer up here next to the standard bearer. On second thought, a little bit further up. About right there. Shooting phase, we're going to have a shot from this guy over onto their standard bearer over there. Short range and move, so we're hitting on a 4. That's a hit. Wounding on a 5. No. Into the combat phase. We've got 2 combats. Let's start with this one down here at the bottom. High Elves, 2 attacks, and we are going to be hitting on 3s. Oh, 2 of them. Wounding on 5s. Here we go. And we got 1 wound. All right, thick skin. So we go from a normal 6+ save to a 4+. Because of thick skin, we have a normal 6+, but we go to a 4+ save. And it's a 3, so no! So with that wound going through, the High Elves are able to take out that War Boar Orc. And running over to our second combat now, the High Elves each getting an attack. 3s. And 1 goes through. Needing 5. No. War Boar coming back, needing a 4. No. And likewise a 4 for our Orc boy. No as well, so that combat ends. There are no wounds, so no combat resolution. Orc, turn 3. We're going to go ahead and charge. And he has to hold, and we are going to charge with this guy over onto the, let's say over onto our Phoenix Guard. And we will also charge with the guy behind into the Archer. Phoenix Guard is going to hold, and the Archer will stand and shoot. Hitting on a 4. No. This Orc on the top is automatically in. And let's roll for the first guy onto the Phoenix Guard. And that's a 10, so he's going to make it in. Second guy, we need to show a 7. Here we go. And with a 9, no problem. And there's how it looks on that bridge now. Pretty congested little combat there. Remaining moves, let's go ahead and move all these guys up, bringing our banner into the middle of everything. And finally, let's move the archers. We'll march the archer way up on the top there and just move the other archer his normal movement. Shooting phase, we have got 1 guy that can shoot on the Orcs and Goblins. We're going to have him take a shot off over onto this lead spearman here. Needing to show a 6. No. That'll take us into the combat phase. Let's start in the middle here. Okay, starting out here now with our kit, we've got this Orc is going to be attacking the Phoenix Guard. He needs to get a 4, and it's a hit. And we're on a 3. No, no wound. And now it's the High Elves coming back before the other Orc gets to go. Starting off with our Phoenix Guard, D6 random hits, 4 attacks on 3s. And we've got 2 that went through, and 5s to wound. And it looks like we got 1 there. 6 up save. No. Archer going for an attack now. And that's going to hit. 5 to wound. No. Coming back with a 4 to hit. And no, that's a 3. Orcs and Goblins losing the combat by 1. Their leadership down to 6. Here we go. And no, they failed. But they do have their banner within range, so they get 1 reroll. And also a fail. They are going to turn around and flee. The question is how far? 3 inches. 3 inches will be taking him right into his own banner here, and then into this other guy as well. Popping out on the other side. Let's go ahead and pursue with our 2 High Elves. Before we pursue with our High Elves, let's first roll panic tests first on the banner. Failed. Reroll because it's a banner. And also a fail. He's going to turn around and run as well. How far? A total of 9 inches. And we have this guy here also needing to take a panic test. And he is going to pass it, so he stays there. High Elves going ahead and pursuing. First one 9. And the other one a total of 10 inches. So they catch him, and they are able now to run him down as he turns and flees, and they are able now to run into the second guy. And that is how it will look now. We have a combat waiting now the next round. And let's go up a little further there and get into our second combat. First, High Elf Spearman attacking the Orc boy, and he hits. 5 to wound. Got it. And we have a 5+ save. No. Dropping our leader down to 1 wound. We're going to have the second Spearman do the same. Hitting now on a 3. No, that is a miss. But I've been forgetting ASF. Always strikes first rules. He gets to reroll misses. That is a hit. Wounding on a 5. Yes. And that will be a 5+ save. Yes, he gets the save. Coming back, the boar is going to 4, and that's a hit. And to wound, that is also a wound. And we have a 5+ save, and he makes the save. And let's roll both of the orcs at the same time. And that's 2 hits. Rolling to wound. And we got 1 wound there, and we have a 6+ save, 5+ save, so that's a save as well. Combat resolution. Remember, in Regiment of Renown, we just count wounds, so we did 1 wound, dropping their leadership down to 6. No banner, no chance to re-roll, so here we go. And they missed it. Our orc is going to be fleeing a total of 4 inches, and our orc boar is going to flee a total of 7 inches. Here come the big pursuit rolls. This is huge. 6 in the first one, and the second one is going to be a total of 7. So we're actually going to catch them both. So that's a devastating round of combat. They're dropping the orcs down to half of their guys. They're well below their 25% after that combat, so they're going to have to roll for a route test at the start of their next turn. Let's move over now to the High Elves, turn 4. High Elves charges to declare. We're going to have this guy charge from here over onto this guy on the corner, and he will hold. We're going to have both of our spearmen charge the archers. One is over to this archer in that corner, and the other one into that archer in that corner. Both the archers are going to stand and shoot. First off, this guy right here, we need to have a 5, and that's a miss. Second guy, also a 5, no. First guy cannot miss. He is in. Let's roll for the second guy. That's going to be close. We got to measure it out. And he is also within range, so no problem there. And finally, let's roll for this guy. No problem. Remaining moves, let's march our last 2 spearmen up here. So a bunch of combats here. Let's go ahead and start with the archer here. Fighting over here with this spearman. Hitting on a 3. 5 to wound. Got it. 6+ save. No. Running up to this combat here now with the archer and the spearman. High Elf hitting on a 3. Wounding on a 5. No. Coming back with a 4. Got him. And wounding on a 4. Yes. Needing a 6+ here. 6 to save. No. Moving down now to the Phoenix Guard and the Archer combat. Let's go ahead and see how many attacks the Phoenix Guard gets. 6 attacks. Wow. So Phoenix Guard, 6 attacks. 3's the hit. Always strikes first. Still a 1. All right. 5 attacks. We need 5s to wound. Two wounds is enough then. We will take him out of play. And there's a guy right behind him now who needs to take a panic test. This guy right here. And we're looking at a leadership of 7. Here we go. 9. So he's going to take off fleeing how many inches now? Let's check it out. A total of 4 inches. So joining his standard bearer, fleeing off in the direction of the board edge. We have one more combat here with the standard bearer of the High Elves. 1 attack, hitting on 3. Yes. Wounding on a 5. No. Coming back. And that's a miss. And that brings us to the end of High Elf turn 4. Here's how things look at this moment. We've got 2 spearmen here running over here, another spearman over here. These guys right here are also charging in. We've got 1 combat here. As far as the orcs go, they've got their banner fleeing, they've got another guy fleeing, and they have 1 archer, so not looking very good. It is now the orc turn 4. They need to take a rout test. Well, it comes down to this, the most important role for the orcs thus far, their leadership test for their rout. And they need a 7, and it's an 8. So no, the orcs are going to turn and flee off the battlefield. And with that, the remaining orcs turn tail and flee off of the battlefield. A fitting end, given how the momentum of the game seemed to be moving. Well, there you have it, folks. That wraps up our game of Regiment of Renown, where the High Elves are able to hold off the Orc onslaught. If you appreciate this kind of content, please do give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and we will be sure to continue to make this kind of content in the future. And most of all, thank you for joining us here today at Grey Army Gaming for the future of fantasy.
Ta-da!